1, 2, 3, 4. Those are numbers, but you already knew that. If you want to know what number you're going to pay each month for your car, use Kelly Blue Book My Wallet on Auto Trader. They're really good at numbers. Auto Trader.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Unequal Sequel
Extra.
It's Friday. That one means one thing, means we do our bonus episodes. Rich, how are you?
Oh, is that what Friday means? I thought it meant it's nearly the weekend and I can have a little sleepy.
No, that is also what it means, but it also means...
You said Friday means one thing, so, I thought...
Oh, yeah, okay, it means two things then in your case. Two things. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good. Interesting trailer breakdown this week.
Coming up, yeah.
Yeah.
So, what trailer are we going to break down and analyse today?
We are going to break down and analyse The Matrix Resurrections trailer. Now, I had to remember that. I had to write that down so I didn't forget what it was called, because they all merge into one. Like, Reloaded, Remix, Animatrix...
Yeah.
Animaniacs.
Do you think it's a good title for a Matrix film?
I mean, it depends what happens, but
what
I guess
do you think it means? Let's just start straight away. What do you think that means? Reborn.
Yeah,
resurrected.
Someone's coming back to life, essentially. Which I presume... I'm pretty sure Neo died in the end of the third one. I don't actually know that, because I was really confused.
Yeah.
And every time... I've tried to watch it since and I've still been really confused. So I'm presuming Neo's resurrected? Because... Yeah? He's in this?
Or the Matrix has been resurrected?
Wasn't that the thing? Wasn't that the deal? Wasn't it like... I'm trying to remember the third one because I haven't watched it for a while, but wasn't it the deal was that Neo would sacrifice himself, kill off the Agent Smith virus, and then the Matrix would start its like seventh iteration, and humans would be able to choose if they wanted to be part of it or not. Wasn't that the end of the... Is that right?
I think so.
Because I found that film baffling, so I don't even know if I've got that right.
I think so, but clearly... Well, not clearly, but it looks like he's been plugged back in to another Matrix. Yeah. How do you feel about the previous sequels?
Well, I mean, obviously...
Because famously, if people have listened to our interview episodes... They will know that we're not big fans, I don't think.
No. I mean, I really like the Wachowskis, and I think Sense 8 is one of the best things I've seen on a screen ever. I think they did a wonderful job of that. But I don't think I like The Matrix, any of it that much.
Not the first one?
The first one's all right. I think the first one's okay. I think the second one is passable, and the third one is just nonsense. My brain must be far too small to get around it.
I'm saying, so you're not very excited for this one at all? Then?
Not massively excited, no.
So what did the trailer do to you? Did it do its job? Did it build it up? Did it get you excited at all? Or did...
No. No, I mean, it's not like either of the two trailers that we've done so far. We've done two trailers, right? We've got Ghostbusters and Spider-Man. Where they kind of led us on a journey, on a bit of a story. This one feels more like an homage of confusing snippets, essentially.
Yeah.
And but there were some bits that I watched it and I was like, oh, I sort of remember that. Like, that's a nod back to something that happened in one of the first three. So it sort of kicks off with Neo being in like a psychiatrist's office.
Yeah,
and the psychiatrist is played by Neil Patrick Harris, who's Barney from How I Met Your Mother, and for some reason has been cast as Brains from Thunderbirds in this with large blue glasses. But what I did notice was, and also there's blue pills around in this one as well, which is like there's the black cat Now, there's like the deja vu cat, right?
Yeah.
I remember that's one of the bits I remember. So does that mean that Barney's a glitch? Like because that's normally when there's a glitch in the Matrix, isn't it? When that black cat shows up.
It's either that or it's just a wink to camera, like,
Yeah, it could be.
Do we think Barney... I don't know why we're calling him Barney. That's not his name.
Because it suits him. But we call him Brains. Brains from Thunderbirds.
Do we think he's in on it? Or is he just
I think
another plugged-in human?
He's probably a program, I should think.
I think he's a program.
I think he's a program who is keeping Neo in the Matrix.
In the Matrix.
Yeah, by giving him his blue pills.
Because it looks like we've gone back to the beginning, maybe even like the first film, as in he doesn't know he's in... Obviously, he doesn't know he's in the computer animated, whatever, system.
It's all a bit... I mean, it's called Resurrections, and he's got long dark hair and a beard. Is it getting a bit Jesus-y?
Well, I think he looks just like John Wick, so he's clearly
like
filming...
John Wick, yeah.
He's clearly filming this and John Wick at the same point, weren't they?
That's true, yeah. That's true.
There's lots of interesting shots. I like the bit where it turns Matrixy, and people will hopefully know when I say that what it means, that the green writing. Yeah,
well, the thing about the Matrix was it always had a kind of... It was colour-graded slightly green, wasn't it? That was the whole point. And then it was...
It's a bit washed out.
Yeah, and then when it wasn't in the Matrix, it was kind of slightly more vibrant colours. I mean, it was dark, but it was kind of like still... And so there's a shot of like the shots in the office, and there's a shot of like it looks like San Francisco. Is it San Francisco? I think they don't have that kind of green color grading. They look more realistic. So whether that means that I don't know that the Matrix isn't glitchy or it's not, or it's reality, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Basically, did Neo choose the steak or the slush? That's what we want to know.
Yeah.
Because I know what I'll be choosing.
Right?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, I really like a steak as well. I don't think I've ever really understood the sequels like you were saying earlier, so I'm not quite sure what the fuck's going on, to be honest. I get it. I get the first one, but then I felt like they were trying to be really clever. I remember at uni, them trying to teach lessons about the Matrix, pretty much. Do you remember all this? Like...
Yeah,
and then there's some written books and papers about it, and in here there's nods to like the White Rabbit and Alice in Wonderland still, and obviously the song you were saying before we went online.
Yeah, it's the White Rabbit by Jefferson Airplane. Is the song from the.
So it's all pointing towards that again. Follow the White Rabbit, and you'll lead you to whoever and whatever. I'm a little bit disappointed. There's no Lawrence Fishburne though.
No, and. So, is the guy who looks a bit like Morpheus in this, is that Morpheus, do we think?
I've just checked IMDb, and he is credited as Morpheus.
Oh, okay. Okay. So they've recast
Is it like
Morpheus,
prequel? Yeah, I can't pronounce his name. Yaha Abdul Manti II, the guy who's just recently in Candyman, the remake of Candyman, the sequel of Candyman.
Oh, okay.
And he was
I've not seen that yet, but I've heard
the bad guy
things.
in Aquaman.
Oh, that's
not good.
That's not good.
So, are they going to go, do you reckon... Because this must look like a young Morpheus. So, are they going back in time? Are we going to have a bit of time travel?
I don't know, because Trinity's
and she's
in
older
as well. And she's older. And clearly Neo is older. But then there's a weird scene where he looks in
Trinity
a mirror.
definitely died in the last one.
Yeah.
So, they must have plugged her back in somehow. If you can see us now, listeners, you can just see me and Rich looking really confused.
We are, yeah. There's a weird scene when Neo looks in a mirror, and he sort of the reflection looks like someone else, like an old man, or even I thought for a bit it might have been the architect, but I don't think it is.
Do you think maybe he is an old man and that's his reflection, but he himself sees him as this, or worse?
I think it's just because there's this whole thing about Keanu Reeves doesn't age.
Yeah.
That there's like really old paintings that look like Keanu Reeves. And everyone's like, he's a vampire. He's been around for thousands of years. He's got the 10 rings.
He has aged incredibly well.
And so some of it, I can't tell whether it's because he's aged so well, because he still looks so young. I can't tell whether it's supposed to be flashback or whether it's supposed to be like happening now and he just looks young still. Like, it's
and there's clearly there's shots of him taking the blue pill, which is the pill that says you don't want to, or stay in the Matrix.
Yeah. But there's also a bit with Morpheus offering him the red
and time to
again,
fly,
right?
which obviously he can do, and he can dodge bullets and push bullets away, which happens a lot.
And there is a little bit of bullet time in there, isn't there?
Do you reckon they'll go back to bullet time?
Well, there is a bit of bullet time in it. Like,
it was such a thing, but then it got heavily mocked. Weirdly, didn't it? Like a scary movie again and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, but anything that's iconic, and bullet time was really
cool,
iconic at the time, wasn't it? It was like, holy crap, we've never seen anything like that before. It's going to get mocked. It's going to get pastiched. Something that kind of big is definitely going to get sort of picked out.
I remember them not really doing it much in the sequels. They lent further into the CGI fuckfest, kind of.
Yeah, true.
More than they did.
But maybe that's why the sequels were a bit poo.
They didn't feel as fresh as the first one.
I don't know. But there's a bit when Neo's talking to Barney about his dream, and you get that kind of that shot of where everything's turning into code.
That's what I was looking for earlier.
That happens in the original Matrix. And then after that bit, that's when there's a really short bit of bullet time.
I thought that. So I'm just going back a bit. I thought that was just stuff from the original Matrix.
Oh. No, because he's got long hair.
Oh.
He's got long hair and a beard when they do the bullet time bit. So I don't think it is. There's also like a really short shot of him, of Neo, like with tubes coming out of him and looks like crabs crawling.
That's the bits I thought was from the original, like the original films. These might be flashbacks, or there might be images in his head that he can see. He's trying to break free again from the computer world. I don't like young Morpheus. I don't know why. It's just not sitting with me as well.
Yeah, it is a bit.
Something's
weird.
up there. I'm not saying he's going to be bad in the part.
No, I'm sure it won't. I'm sure it'll be all right. But I don't know.
I tell you what. Also, this is apparently going to be a Christmas movie. It doesn't feel very Christmassy, does it?
It does not feel Christmassy in the slightest. I mean, is there a bit? Have I imagined this, or is there there's a bit of Neo coming out of an egg pod, isn't there? Is that from the original kind of?
Yeah, there's a bit in there.
It's all so short, so it's really hard to tell because all these scenes are flashes, and I've genuinely, when I've been watching this, I've been pausing it at different points just to try and see what's going on because they're such short little snippets that if you blink too much, you'll miss half of.
There is a bit definitely in the middle of this trailer when the background is of him coming out of the original pod in the original film, and there's a gunfight happening in front of it. So is it going to go real meta?
Probably. I imagine.
I'm very nervous about this because they're replaying. There's also in this trailer there's another training scene between him and Morpheus. Which feels very much like "stop trying to hit me" and "hit me" kind of thing.
Yeah,
it just looks like they're going to replay the same beats at some points.
I mean, maybe.
There's rain again. At some point, they're in Japan because there's a scene on a train on one of the what's the trains called? I was about to call it the mega trains, but that's not the right word, is it?
Bullet train.
Yeah, bullet train. That could be cool. A train chase.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, the best thing about the sequel or Reloaded was the freeway car chase.
Yeah, that's true.
It completely saves it for me. Oh, there's a bit of Trinity fighting in here as well, and screaming.
Oh, we've got the White Rabbit as well, haven't we?
There's a lot of White Rabbit notices that there's a tattoo.
So
again.
there's a tattoo of the White Rabbit, which is like the first one when there's a tattoo of the White Rabbit. There's a shot of the Alice in Wonderland book, isn't there?
Going down the rabbit hole again, yeah.
Yeah. So there's a few White Rabbit.
I'm nervous, Rich. I'm not going to lie to you.
Well, I mean, it's not going to be.
This trailer does not get me hyped for it.
No. I mean, it feels slightly intrigued, though.
It does, yeah, exactly. It doesn't give anything away.
No, I mean, it really doesn't. But there's definitely... I sort of want to see how, like, aging Neo and Trinity are getting on. Like, they're 10 years older than me, for crying out loud. They should be, like, settling down a pipe and slippers, not fighting the robots. You know?
Do you think maybe that the Trinity Neo might not be in it for the whole film? Or do you think it's a Neo story? Because there's other characters in there, like the young Morpheus, there's the Catherine Hardwick, or Henwick Hardwick.
I think it's going to be a Neo story, but I just don't know what they're going to do. So the last little bit of the trailer, I know we're jumping to the end.
No, that's fine. Yeah, it's too hard.
The last little bit of the trailer is like Neo and Trinity jumping off a building, aren't they?
Yeah, which looks like the building from the first one.
Yeah. Do you think they're just remaking the first one?
I don't know, mate.
It's just like completely gonna beat for beat remake the first film. We're like, well, it was good.
Hugo Weaving's
Hugo
not
Weaving,
in it.
yeah.
He's
No,
not in
he's
it.
not in it.
But there's definitely more agents, whatever. They're going to be Agent Smiths or...
Yes. Yeah, they do. There are like, there's a bit where a guy gets out of a car and he looks like he shapeshifts.
Yeah,
slightly,
into an
and he's
agent.
got glasses and
And then there's
black
a
suit
mysterious
stuff
character
on.
at the end, played by Jonathan Groff, I think his name is, from Mindhunter and Hamilton. And do you think he's something like the architect?
Who's that?
Right at the end. Right at the
Right
end.
at the end.
When he says,
when Neo
we're all
like,
going
stops
back
all the
to the-
bullets and stuff.
we're all going back where it all started, the Matrix.
Could be. I don't know.
Listeners, if you were listening for a breakdown of two men knowing what they... This is not it.
Yeah. if you've tuned in to get some sort of insight into this trailer, you're in the wrong place. Because all we can tell you is we are confused.
There's two men who didn't really understand the last few films.
Yeah, I feel like I read a couple of bits before we sort of talked about it today, and there's a few people have said that you need to have watched the Animatrix to get everything that's in here,
Really?
and also that you need to have played the Matrix computer game, because there's storylines from there about Morpheus dying and stuff and being resurrected as someone else.
Which computer game? So I like Enter the
I
Matrix.
don't know. Sorry.
So you're saying Morpheus died and was resurrected, or this is what he has been resurrected in this one?
Yeah, that's the theory, that because Morpheus dies in the game, which apparently the game carries on the story, and Morpheus dies in the game, and then this is apparently Morpheus resurrected or something,
Oh, that might explain.
which is why it explains he's a different actor.
Right, yeah.
Apparently, I don't know. I'm not embedded in the lore of the Matrix.
There are some returning characters. The Jada Pinkett Smith one, Niobe, she's returning.
Right,
and also
okay.
they're having the Merovingian, whatever his name is, from
the French guy,
the French
Frenchman,
guy
or what he's
who
called.
I really did not like.
Mm.
He's turning back. There's also Christina Ricci's coming in, but don't know what parts.
Oh, okay. Oh, that'd be interesting.
It's all very secret, hush, hush.
Christina Ricci's not in the trailer, I don't think.
No, there's no... Well, as far as I can see.
Neither's Jada Pinkett Smith or the French guy, really, I don't think.
Some of these shots are very quick, though, Rich.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's clear from the trailer that Neo works out that he can bend bullets and shit.
Yeah, so and there's definitely a scene where he kind of like... He's like training with Morpheus and he punches him through a building.
Yeah, that looks cool, but again, it's not something we've seen.
If you're hoping for anything new and groundbreakingly different like the first Matrix was, I think you might be disappointed. I think this is going to be some of the same old stuff. And I hope it has a bit of heart in it. I think that's the worst thing about the second two, is both of them felt very kind of devoid of any emotion. You know, like...
Yeah, they just didn't work on any level for me, the previous two. But that's because I loved the first one, The Matrix, so much. It was, like we said, talking about, it was so groundbreaking. It had so much stuff that I hadn't seen before. The technology, just the way it was filmed, the way it looked. And then the other two just didn't do anything for me, apart from the car chase. I think about the third one, I'm thinking earlier, I was like, is there anything I remember that I enjoyed from it? And I think the attack on Zion's okay, but it's not enough to warrant...
No.
I
just have an overriding feeling of confusion about the third one. Just about not really understanding what was going on.
Will you rewatch them to go into this one?
Yeah, I think so. I think I would. I definitely will. And I might try and watch the Animatrix as well, because apparently that's useful.
But which Animatrix? That's loads of little stories.
Oh, all of them, I guess, then.
I remember there was one they released in the cinema, but it was only before... I don't know if you remember it. It was called Dreamcatcher, and it was rubbish.
Oh, right.
It was a Stephen King novel, I believe, and it had Morgan Freeman in, Tom Sizemore, Jason Lee, Damian Lewis. It was a little bit batshit crazy.
Okay.
We went and saw it just for the Matrix, Animatrix.
Right.
And the rest of the film was rubbish, but
Okay.
that was pretty decent. Okay, I might rewatch them as well then, because I've got them on.
Yeah, interesting. So it's just Lana Wachowski, isn't it? It's not both of them. Do we know why it's not both of them? Interesting.
One of them had an idea to bring it back, the other one
Didn't fancy
didn't
it.
fancy it. it was written with someone else, David Mitchell, which I believe they wrote Cloud Atlas, which was another one of their films.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm just hoping that this is more Sense8 and less Speed Racer. That's
Was
all I'm going to say.
Sense8 the Netflix TV series?
Yes, it was a TV series. Then they made like a movie to finish it off because it got cancelled, and everyone literally cried because
I don't
it's awesome. If you get a chance to watch it, it's so good and so sexy. That's a weird thing to say, but yeah, it's really sexy. Like, it's so good. It's beautifully made. It's an incredibly deep story, and there's a lot of really beautiful people in it. Like, it's definitely worth a watch. Definitely.
Yeah. What do you want from this Matrix? What would get you excited for it?
I would like to understand what the fuck is going on.
Okay.
Something that takes us forward a little bit, I guess.
Do you want fighting, more?
No, I don't
No.
like. No, I'm not really into massive loads of action. I get lost. Like, big set pieces of action kind of bore me a little bit.
What about the lobby scene in the first Matrix?
Well, yeah, I can appreciate at the time it was really great to see that, because it was really different. But to watch it again now, it's not a bit I go like, oh, I love this bit. I don't. I don't know what it is, but like, yeah, action just kind of.
Yeah, filmmakers have such a harder job now because it's getting hard to invent new things. Like when Avatar came out, we hadn't seen anything like it, and that's why it became one of the highest grossing films ever.
Yeah, true.
But
it didn't.
Some people love it, some people don't. And where they're going to go with Avatar 2 is try and, show,
to make it different.
Make it
because
different.
Essentially, Avatar was Fern Gully with some fancy camera work.
Yes,
really, and that's why Avatar will never be a brilliant movie, because it's not an originally fantastic story.
Yeah,
and
but the 3D was amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing, and it's absolutely amazing. But it's only amazing for 2 weeks while you're watching it. When it's new.
Yeah, 3D hasn't held up, has it?
Yeah, then you've moved on, and that's to say, if the storyline is great, you don't need all of that. If you've got a brilliant story, Casablanca doesn't have any effects, and I can still happily watch Casablanca today.
Yeah,
and that is 60 years old, older than that.
Yeah,
and I can still happily watch that movie, and still make me feel stuff inside, and it doesn't have a single effect in the whole thing. Whereas, Avatar, solely on the effects and not the story. If Avatar had a strong story, people would still be watching it saying, "Go, what an amazing movie."
Yeah.
Whereas actually, people are watching it going, "Oh yeah, this was good in the day." And I think that's a little bit like.
Do you think The Matrix is, how old is it now? 2009. It was 1999, wasn't it?
99, yeah. I mean, I remember
if someone came and watched that with fresh eyes today.
Yeah.
The only reason I love it so much because it was so new and so different back then, and it was incredible. But if someone watched it today, how do you think it would fare up?
I think if someone watched it today, they'd be like, yeah, it's all right. It's not because it's got a decent enough storyline. It's an interesting concept that humans are essentially living batteries, and we're all actually in pods, but our brains think we're living life. And I like the interesting concept that they couldn't make life too easy because we all rebelled against it and got bored. And so they had to make it a bit hard.
And that concept is so good, by the way.
Yeah.
And I don't know where they went with it in the second and third.
That's the problem, isn't it? Is that they didn't quite keep
more
that
the second
concept.
one, because the third one, the attack on the robots coming to attack the humans that are alive. So I've got more problems with the second one, I think.
Yeah.
The bit at the end with the key maker and when that room with all the TV screens and Argo, Vigo V, my brain hurt at that point. Oh.
I get that. And
couldn't stand it. Do you think it was trying to be? I feel it was trying to be too clever for its own good.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. I think it was. Yeah, and that's my worry about resurrect. Is it resurrections? Isn't it? It's not resurrection. It's resurrections.
So more than one.
More than one.
Ooh.
So that's interesting in itself. So I think potentially if this new Matrix film says something different, if this new Matrix film isn't, I don't know. I don't know what it's going to say. It's different, but if it doesn't just rely on the same old cliches that have now been parodied to death, if it tries to rely on that, it's going to fail. If it has a really unique story that moves the characters forward and shows some sort of character development, then it's got a chance.
So I don't know if they're planning to do more than one. So they're trying to do a new trilogy, new spin-offs. There's money to be made in The Matrix. They've just got to find it. I think the studio, this is...
Well, this is the thing, is that... yeah. I mean...
There's a world there to build upon, which is also one of my concerns. I'm most nervous about this one.
Yeah, I mean... Is it being made for pound signs?
It's never
That's the thing. Like, well, yes, of course. But I mean, is it going to be blatantly made for pound signs, like Coming to America 2, which is essentially like, look at how good the first one was.
Did not like it.
Pay your money. If it's going to be like that, then it could be a terrible experience. But I have faith. In Lana Wachowski because I love Sense8.
I'd like to know what other people would think. So get in touch. See what I'm doing here. I'm pushing us into the outro.
Yeah.
Cue the music.
Yeah, I like
so, Rich, where can they get in contact?
You can. I was one step ahead. I was just about to do that. And watch me get them all wrong now, since I got them all right last week. You can get in contact with us on Twitter and on Instagram, both of which at Unequal Sequel. You can send us an email to unequalsequel@hotmail.com. Hey, 2 weeks in a row. And yeah, just let us know what you think, what your theories are about the Matrix Resurrections, whether you think it's going to be good, whether you think it's going to be bad.
I want people to send me theories.
You're concerned about things. Theories, yeah. And we'll stick the best theories out on Twitter.
I will go down that rabbit hole of reading all crazy kinds of shit about this.
Yeah.
Also, can you please listen to our other episodes, our interview episodes?
Absolutely. If this is the first episode you've listened to, go back and listen to the better ones where we're not confused about what's going on. Go and listen to the main episodes with the interviews. We've got the brilliant guests on answering questions. They're the best. They're the real interviews. They're the real episodes. This one is just, extra. So yeah, go and listen to those ones. There's way better ones than this one where we actually know what's going on. And we will be back.
Let's just say November.
We'll be back next Friday with extras. We will be back in November with our main season 2 episodes. And oh my days, the guest lineup. I don't know how I'm going to get through them because I'm going to be so starstruck. I'm just going to be a gibbering little girl in the corner going, "Oh, I love you."
All fingers across.
This is going to be a really good series. I can feel it already. I can feel it in my butt. No, don't know where that came from.
On that note, I'm keeping it in.
We'll
I'm
cut that bit out. Whenever I say something stupid, you always keep it in.
It's the plus point of editing.
It's not fair.
So we've got nothing else to say. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.